The opinions expressed in the following paid program do not necessarily represent those of WJZ, CBS Radio, its employees, or sponsors.
This is the Small Business Secret Weapon Hour, sponsored by Office Movers Incorporated. 1 hour of little-known but highly effective secret weapon tips, techniques, and strategies, plus your phone calls. And now the host of the Small Business Secret Weapon Hour, Mark Luderman.
And welcome to the Small Business Secret Weapon Hour, sponsored by Office Movers Inc. I am Mark Luderman, your small business secret weapon, and I'm joined today by my co-host Jim Durfee, Vice President of Office Movers. We're extremely excited to be here to talk about the little-known but highly effective secret weapon strategies and techniques that will help any small business thrive in this new economy and against any and all competition. Today, our guest is Willie the Bam Johnson, CEO of Bam's Kung Fu, located in Laurel, Maryland. As always, we have a terrific show jam-packed with secret weapon tips, techniques, and strategies to help your small business thrive. But first, we start every show. I'm very excited to get to our next segment because today our guest is Willie the Bam Johnson, a 7-time world champion and black belt Hall of Famer. And oh, by the way, he's also the CEO of Bam's Kung Fu, located in Laurel, Maryland. Welcome to the show, Willie.
Good morning, sir.
We're really excited to have you here. You've got an unbelievable background, an unbelievable bio, and we're going to get into a lot of what you've accomplished and how you've accomplished it. And as I just said, my first real question to you, you have one of the more interesting and inspiring backgrounds that I've ever heard, especially on this show. And what I want you to do is talk about how you got started and became what you refer to as the leading martial arts innovation in the world.
Well, I fell in love with martial arts at the age of 6 after seeing a Bruce Lee movie, like most of us. Coming up in the city of Baltimore, in East Baltimore, Lafayette projects. Just a child, seeing a lot of things going on around him. But this particular day after seeing this Bruce Lee movie, I didn't see Bruce Lee on that screen. I seen me, I seen myself, just being able to escape some of the things that was going on in my community and in my household. And from that particular day, I began to just make up stuff, coming out the movie theater, flipping and kicking and punching, and even writing down little things on toilet paper. Oh, I want to be a movie star. Oh, one day I'm going to have my own karate school and all those things. And I continue to teach myself from that point on, martial arts from books, from magazines, whatever. I would just hide out as a matter of fact, the Hippodrome Theater. Back then, I would hide out in the Hippodrome Theater all day. That's when you can go and watch movies. You can go in at 3, and you don't have to leave until about 10 o'clock at night. So I would just sit there and just study those martial art films and make up everything that I could possibly think about making up. And it just led me to one day having the courage to go over to a community center and seek some professional instructions. And that center was called McKim's Community Center. First time around, I think I mentioned to you, they told me that I was crazy. You need to go away, come back when you get some sense or some serious training. But I didn't go away. I went outside and continued to flip and jump around. So they had to create a program for us.
I've got to ask you a question before we go on too far there. I mean, everybody loves to have a great nickname. I mean, I never had a great nickname growing up. Where in the world, how did you get the BAM?
My mom, it used to be Bam Bam. I guess she said I had a lot of energy. Mm-hmm. I was just always enthusiastic about doing things. And as I got older, I realized in martial arts, there was no one that could do what I was doing. So we cut off one Bam, because now you're a man, so it's the Bam now. That's what my instructor said.
So would it be fair to create the nickname for Jim today, the Durf?
It doesn't have quite the same ring, but thank you. So as a kid, you have this dream. You're doing all this. You think you'll be on TV or the radio. I mean, now you're on the radio. In the movies, you realized your dream. How did you get there? What did you do to change your life to make it happen?
It was a Greyhound bus to New York City with $20 in my pocket. I think I was 16. I knew that there was a tournament called All-American Championships at Madison Square Garden. And just like anything,
I don't mean to cut you off here, but I think it's important that all of our listeners know that, again, you had no formal training.
No, sir, no.
You created this form of martial arts. You call it an expression
It was just expression of myself.
Right, of yourself. In your room,
yes,
at the age of 6 to the age of 16 for 10 years, no formal training.
Amazing.
And then goes to New York. So I had to just put that in there so everybody gets the full picture here.
So I get on the bus and I go to New York, and, little kid, never been out the city before, but I know that I want this goal to manifest. So I go to Madison Square Garden and I win first place. Supposed to have been on TV, but I was so afraid because, I never been out of the city. So I had to get on the bus. It's supposed to have been on TV, but I could not get on TV because I needed to get back to the bus station so I can get back home in time. So I come back home, and my mom see this trophy, and she couldn't believe it. And she's, "Where you been, boy?" And, I tried to explain it to her, but that just set the seed in motion. From that point on, I just began to, I don't know, when you want something so bad, and I don't care, a goal, a dream, I began to just create these letters and send them out to sponsors. And I got people like McDonald's and 7-Eleven to sponsor this little kid. And I knew that I wanted this, and probably if I asked for too much money, I might not get the sponsorship. So if I asked for enough to get on the bus, it didn't matter if I stayed on the bus for 4 days. And that's what it was. I would travel to places like Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I would be on the bus for 3 days. But as soon as I would get off the bus, I would run into the tournament and win the tournament and get back on the bus and come back home because I didn't have enough money for the hotel. But I was winning. I knew I needed to plant this seed. And every day, once that one New York trip happened, my mom would just stand by the door and wait for me to come in with the trophies.
We can make this a great story about Willie really trying and Willie doing his best and Willie going to all these, but he's winning them. He's not just doing your best is very good. So you had to have learned from something. You must have spent a great deal of time watching others. Did you have mentors as you were going through this process?
Yes. They were all on my walls in my bedroom. Mm-hmm. And just by being out there competing, one guy that I went up to and I asked him for some assistance. I couldn't afford to pay for lessons, but I asked him if he would help me. His name was Dennis Brown. At that time, he was the leading martial arts component in the United States. And he said, "What I'll do, I'll let you teach my people gymnastics and I'll teach you martial arts." From that point on, he began to take me to levels that I could never imagine. My goal was one day to meet Bruce Lee. Well, he allowed me to go to China. So when mainland China first opened, they didn't allow, he went there the first time around. I was on the second trip of Americans to go to China, and I went there and I impressed them so much with my creativity with martial arts. I got an award where it recognized me as the best martial artist ever trained in mainland China. And that just set things in motion. During that time, I also was blessed with being able to open up my business at 17 years old.
Which is incredible. And I think the point here, because we always like to reference things to secret weapon techniques and strategies, is the power of thought and how important it is, how positivity breeds positivity. And if you believe that you can do something, you can do it. And that's really what we're talking about here.
Yes, sir.
It was your power of thought that allowed you to break down the barriers to become great and to become world recognized as a leader in martial arts.
Yes, sir.
Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it's the same thing in business.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing in business. Negativity breeds negativity. Positivity breeds positivity. No matter how low you get, no matter if things are going against you. And I know we got to take a commercial break here, but this is, when we come back from the commercial break, this is what we want to get to, because you've experienced failure, just like every successful entrepreneur, so we want to talk about that. So we'll be right back with Willie the Bam Johnson.